Samsung Galaxy S7 versus LG G6 speed test coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up guys, Nick here from Everything Tech, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to the Galaxy S7 versus the LG G6 speed test. Let's begin with a boot up test of both of these devices to see which one does boot on quicker in 3, 2, 1. And you see the S7 logo first, followed by the LG G6. Now, my S7 is the AT&T model, so this does have 4 gigs of RAM and a Snapdragon 820 CPU. Now, on the LG, this is an unlocked LG G6, and this does have Snapdragon 821 with 4 gigs of RAM. So these are actually closer than you might think in terms of performance, even though the LG is a 2017 phone. LG decided to go with a year-old processor, well, not a year old, about a 6-month-old processor in the 821 that's found on the Google Pixel. But you did see that the G6 did boot on quicker than that of the Galaxy S7, and TouchWiz does lag a little bit to get warmed up sometimes. As you can see right there, it had to redraw the icon. So for most of my Samsung devices, I always have to wait just a little bit when I boot it up for them to get going. So confirming the software on the Samsung Galaxy S7, we do run Android version 7.0 Nougat. So if I go into About Device and I go into Android version, you can see 7.0 Nougat, and the same could be said for the LG G6. So if I go to settings on the LG G6 and I scroll down to About Phone, you can see right here that it should say software version Android 7.0 Nougat. So these are both on the same exact version of Android. Nougat is the latest out. Now for the Google Pixel as well as some Nexus devices, they are on the dot releases like 7.1.1, 7.1, 7.1.2, and Nougat releases like that. But other than that, it's pretty much the same software here, very well optimized. But let's see how they perform on speed. So what I want to do is I want to come back home and clear the cache on both devices. So I'm going to go over into settings on both devices. I'm going to go into storage on both. So let me go into device maintenance here, and let's find storage here for the LG G6. If I go into internal storage here, I'm going to go to cache data here, and I'm going to clear cache for all the apps. Over here, I'm going to go into, let's see, storage here for the Samsung. Let's hit the 3-dot menu, storage settings, and right here, cache data. I'm going to go ahead and clear that live on camera, so you can see both of these are now cleared for a fair test here in terms of the cache. So let's go ahead and close everything out before we begin with this speed test. And I do want to mention one thing about the Samsung Galaxy S7. I do have the high performance mode enabled because I think it's only fair that we put it in high performance mode here. So both are connected to the same Wi-Fi network, and let's begin with Facebook. And you could see the Samsung Galaxy S7 comes out ahead there, coming home. Let's go into Instagram on both devices. And you can see it looks like the LG G6 about the same there. I honestly couldn't tell the difference. Coming home here, let's go into Twitter and see what happens here. So at 820 and an 821, very similar. It looks like the Samsung Galaxy S7 coming home here. So the LG G6 took it on the boot, but it looks like the S7's winning here on the app test so far. Let's see what happens on YouTube. About the same. I'm going to give that one to the LG G6. Coming home, let's go into Best Buy. And you could see S7 on that one. Coming home, let's go into Uber. And looks like the Galaxy S7 would have took that one. Coming home here, let's go into Wikipedia. About dead even, I'm going to give that one to the LG G6. Coming home, let's go into Mr. Phone. And looks like dead even just about. No, the G6 is going to take that one. Coming home, let's go into Pinterest on both devices, Galaxy S7. Now, because you have to press this physical home button, the LG G6 does go home quicker, but the S8 changes that with its capacitive keys as well. Going into Play Newsstand, and you can see both are asking for location. So about the same here on both of these devices. Let's just hit deny, and let's go ahead and open that one more time because of that annoying pop-up. Let's go into Play Newsstand. And it looks like the S7's gonna take it there. Coming home, let's go into Temple Run on both devices. And let's see who gets there first. Looks like the LG G6 is a little bit ahead here on this one. We're gonna have to see right now. Yes, LG G6 takes the win there. Let's go into Subway Surfers, the latest software update, Monaco, and let's see what happens here for the LG G6 or the S7. Who's gonna take it here on gaming? Looks like it's going to be the LG G6 if I'm not mistaken here. Yes, the LG G6 is the faster to load here for gaming, and that would be expected. It is a newer device. Going into settings, you can see the LG G6 takes that one. Let's go on a speed test really quickly, and we are going to run this test, but this is just for the app test, and you could see who loads it first here. Who's going to load it first here? Looks like the LG G6. So the LG G6 looks like it might have came back, and it is the faster phone in both app tests and boot up tests. Chrome and Samsung Internet. And you can see Chrome and Samsung Internet. Looks like Chrome was quicker there. That's the default browser that comes with the LG G6, and that's Samsung's browser that comes with their smartphone, CPU-Z. And you could see, boom, I'm gonna give that one to the S7 coming home. Alright guys, so let's swiftly run through these and see how the RAM management on both devices, and you can see the G6 comes out swinging automatically. G6 again, let's go into Twitter. G6 again, let's go into YouTube. G6 again, so the Samsung is not looking good here on RAM management, and you can see G6 again. Uber, G6 again, so the G6 is the faster phone here as expected, but it's actually a lot faster than I thought in terms of the multitasking. You see the G6, and I know it's gonna happen in the comments. Oh, that's because you don't have the Exynos edition. No, RAM management has been an issue even on Exynos Samsungs. You could see right there the LG G6, Temple Run, LG G6. So the G6 is on the level of the iPhone in terms of RAM management. So LG did a great job in terms of performance here on their devices. Speed test, again, another reload for the Samsung Geekbench, and that's in high performance mode for my S7. Let's go over here into Internet and Chrome. G6 ahead again, and CPU-Z, G6 ahead. So G6 easily takes the win in multitasking. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and run a browser test. I'm going to go to Samsung Internet here in Samsung.com for both of these devices. So I do have it fired up there on the Samsung Galaxy S7. Let me just hit .com here for the LG G6, and let's hit go at the same time in 3, 2, let's go. And you can see it looks like the LG G6 is faster so far on the browser. Now you could say this is Chrome, but you know what? These are the default browsers that come with each of these devices. That's why I test them that way instead of just using Chrome on the, let's go to LG.com here on the S7. So let's go to LG.com for the S7, LG.com here for the G6. So let's go. And you could see LG G6 faster to its own website, and now Samsung. So the LG G6 has been winning a lot of tests here, and it's just showing that it's a very powerful smartphone here coming home. Both have a similar amount of apps loaded up, both are Android 7 Nougat, and both have been cleared of cache. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and run a fingerprint scanner test. So you can see the Galaxy S7's fingerprint is located on the front of the device, whereas the G6 is located on the rear. That's a personal preference whether you like it on the rear or the front. I personally like it on the front a little bit more. That's just my take on it. And the fingerprint scanner is a little bit smaller on the G6, but let's see how they perform side by side. Now, if you can see, I cannot actually get the fingerprint scanner to work on the Samsung without actually physically pressing the button. So that actually delays it from going into the device. So over here on the G6, you don't even have to press anything. You just lightly rest your finger on there, as you can see, and it will open. So just lightly press your finger and it will open. So that automatically is a win in terms of the fingerprint speed. But let's just go ahead and see how close it really is. So about the same, but because you have to physically press something on the S7, the fingerprint scanner is quicker on the G6. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and run a Wi-Fi speed test over here, speed test on the S7, and let's go ahead and begin that test there. You see a little bit of delay there, a little bit of lag there on the S7, very shocking to see that. from such a premier smartphone. And you can see both do have AC Wi-Fi. We're getting about 90 megabytes down there on the S7. What are we going to get on the upload? And we might as well just go ahead and turn on speed test for the G6, and we'll begin that in a second. But we're getting about 12 to 13 on the upload here for the Galaxy S7, so pretty solid, respectable speeds here for speedtest.net here on the S7. Let's go try it here on the G6 and see if the G6 can pull in a better speed. Now, this is definitely indicative of your Wi-Fi network, but it's a pretty good indicator to see which phone is pulling in slightly better speeds. And you can see that the G6 is pulling in slightly better speeds. So once again, it looks like the G6 is going to get a win over the Galaxy S7. But when I get the Galaxy S8, we will test the Galaxy S8 against the G6 as well to see if things have changed. Now, the upload speed does go to the S7, so we're going to call this one a draw overall. So the final test I want to run here, and a test that not everyone agrees with, but we're just going to do it anyway to see the numbers, is Geekbench. So we're going to run a Geekbench on both of these devices, and we're just going to run the CPU benchmarks. And when the scores are ready, I will be back with this video in a second. So the LG G6 has finished this test first, and it does have a single core score of 1703 and a multi-core score of 3651. Now the S7 just finished up with a 1236 on the single core, so it does lose to the G6 on the single core, as well as losing in the multi-core slightly in the multi-core scores. So this just shows that the Snapdragon 820 and 821 are barely different at all. So that pretty much wraps my video up of the Samsung Galaxy S7 versus the LG G6 speed test. Now, generally in day-to-day practice, both of these devices are very quick, and you're not going to have an issue with either in terms of just everyday basic applications and things that you use on a day-to-day. Now, the LG G6, I think, does feel a little bit more fluid as shown in this video, and it feels a little bit closer to stock Android in terms of fluidity and just overall consistency. TouchWiz does bog down the S7 a little bit more than LG's UX 6.0, but that's just my experience. Both are great software in my personal take as well. Which one is better for you, the Galaxy S7 or the LG G6? Comment that down below so we could chat about that. If you found this video helpful, click the like button for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. Be sure to be well, and peace. The Samsung Galaxy S7